Okay, so here we are at the Hamilton Steam Museum in Hamilton, Ontario. I'm not good at speaking on camera. I keep on finding out. But here's my layout for the weekend. I'm just doing an impromptu video right now before they actually open it up at 11, so that's pretty close before the people start coming in. But I wanted to get a nice video. Hi Jeff, hi Fred. Thanks Fred, appreciate it. I'm not good at live streaming, by the way. But here it is, and it's all its glory. And not too many changes since the last show. I wanted to change things up a little bit, but I do like to keep something standard, like the two Galaxy Explorers sitting there, because I think that looks so cool, as always. And the launch of the missile, or satellite, or whatever you want to call it, sitting there. That's always cool. But I did bring my my 918 collection. So I got the 918A, I got my 918C, I got my other 918C there, and I got my original 918 that I got when I was 10, right there. So they're all here. I got my remade 6890 with little Benny in the back. So it's kind of a cross between the 6890 and the Galaxy Explorer, but it's there. The rest of it is pretty much stock sets, except for the layout. So there you go. I'm just going to walk around a little bit. We'll chase a few trains. I do want to make a quick note that I don't know if you can see it on the video, but of course there's the Classic Space logo done across all those windows. If you're interested in anything like that, jealouspanda.com. He's my go-to guy for these kind of windows with the engraving. I was going to chase this guy around because I always liked him. You may notice that this monorail is completely full of girl minifigs. That's because I did a show years ago, and I had usually the generic minifigs, but I had one minifig that had girl's hair on it, and some guy kind of took a big huge hairy on me, like nuts, and says, "Women aren't supposed to be in space, this Lego are all men." I said, whoa, whoa, that's not true at all. And so I made a point to put all women in the layout for the next show. So every minifig in one of my shows was all women minifigs. I don't even know what the ratio is right now, but this train, this monorail train, has always been 100% women, because women run this joint. I am working on some more details, but one of them is a hierarchy, an org chart of who runs the show here, and the number one person at the top is Admiral Sandy Brickbauer. She's right up top there. She runs the whole command center. So that's what I did. So I'm gonna make some, like, probably some sort of org chart thing and whatever, and detail what everything is, because of course this is the habitat building. This is where they sleep and eat and have their little weight room and stuff. It's not detailed inside yet, but it's going to be. And of course the train delivers all their modules, all their clothing, all their whatever, all their resources, all their sundries to there. It gets offloaded, but this is going to have bunk rooms and whatever else. And of course over here we have the launch pad. Got to have the launch pad. Jeff built me this rocket many, many years ago. And I said, well, I'll build you a launch pad for it. So that's how that evolved. That rocket's been in my layouts for many, many years now. And over here is where they work, obviously. So this is the operations center at the top. That's where all the big stuff happens. This is just an observation deck for people to watch ships coming and going. Here is the demarcation level. People come in and go. That's where all the people get to work. And of course you'll see buzz lightning. And then down here is the ground ops. This is where all the trucks go. Over here is the delivery. This is, if you look at the pad, it says LD on it. It means lunar delivery. So this is where all the supplies come in and go, coming and going. And then over here, all the way over here, I'm trying to get it all the way over here, is LR, lunar repair. So that 924 is going in for repair or coming out of repair. This is just a space station, the monorail space station, that for all the people demarking from here, they get into the monorail space station and they can go wherever they want. So everything trying to get everything to have a purpose here. So I've been telling the story to many people today, but I was 10 or 11 years old when I got this set here, this specific set. My parents gave it to me for Christmas. Christmas is 78 or 79. That's the very first Lego space that I had. I mean, I had tons of Lego before that, but that's my very first classic space Lego set. And the very next year, I got 4 more sets for Christmas, and that's one of them there. And I don't think any more are in set. I got the 6890 the next Christmas. But I always wanted a place for my space guys to live and work and have fun and explore. So this layout has been in my mind since 1979. It only took 40 years, but here it is. I mean, it's going to change again. You might see some of my old videos that are the layout's bigger or different or laid out differently. I'm going to keep it to this size. It's 5 feet or 6 base plates by 7.5 feet or 9 base plates, and each one of these base plates, there's 6 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, they're actually double face taped to a piece of plywood, because before, when I was setting up this layout, it would just take me an hour, like a whole hour just to put down the base plates, and I said that's taking way too long for shows, and I was really getting tired of taking 4 hours to set up a layout at a show, so I wanted to get the time down. It took me an hour and a half yesterday morning to do this layout, and that's because, oh, that piece shouldn't be there. That's because one of them is I taped these base plates to the plywood, so there's 9 pieces of plywood throughout the layout, so that's 9 things I just have to put out instead of whatever 6 times 9 is. So that saves a lot of time. It only takes me a minute now just to get the base plates down. And the really good part is, on these base plates now, because before I would have to take everything off, but now I can just leave this stuff on the base plate and just let it sit there while it's in storage, so I don't have to do some of the details. I can leave where these lights are. I can leave them on the base plate now in storage. It makes my life a lot easier. So the other very important part for me to reduce the time for setup is I have 150 pieces of monorail in this layout, and that was the most time-consuming task, is just to get the monorail back together for every single show. So my idea was, instead of taking apart 150 pieces of monorail each and every time I'm putting together 150 pieces of monorail, is to group them into sections that they don't have to come apart. So wherever you see a blue seam, a blue joint, blue connectors, it's where they come apart now. So that gray stays together. So I made all these parts now. So instead of 150 pieces of monorail together, put together every show, I just have to put 50 pieces or 50 groups of monorails together. So that saves a lot of time for setup. The other thing I've done is that, especially for this guy here, is I actually put tiles right at the very bottom, so this thing just sits down. I used to have to rebuild it basically at the bottom every time, because some of the pieces would stick to the base plates when I took it off and whatever. So no, that just comes off. It just sits on top of tiles. This whole building